Hey, it was very interesting when the scientists discovered how planets revolve around the sun. Nicholas Copernicus in 1943, through radical theory, detailed about the planets revolving around the sun, and it took around a century for the world to widely accept it. And in the 17th century, the world widely accepted that the sun has its own light while the moon does not, and it reflects the light of the sun. We have found some verses from the Quran, and here are: by the sun and its brightness, by the moon when it follows it, by the day when it displays it, by the night when it covers it. In the first line, we see by the sun and its brightness. So we can replace it as by the sun. In the simple words, it becomes by the sun and sun's brightness, or by the sun and sun's light in more simple words. So if we will do the same for the second line, the line is by the moon when it follows it. So if we replace the first it by the moon, like we replace it is with the sun, replace it by the moon, it becomes by the moon when moon follows it. And in the third line, it is like by the day when it displays it. So replace first it by the day, it becomes by the day when day displays it. And in the fourth line, it is like by the night when it covers it. So replace it by the night. So it becomes by the night when night covers it. So now what is the second it? So we already saw first it is the moon. By the moon when moon follows it. So second it, if we replace it by the light, so it becomes by the moon when it. So by the moon when moon follows light, and replace it in the third line, it becomes by the day when day displays light. And in the fourth line, if we replace second it by the light, it becomes and by the night when night covers light. But we saw some interesting facts. First, it says by the sun and its light, or by the sun and sun's light. So here it clearly says that sun has its own light. And in the second line, it says by the moon when it follows it, by the moon when moon follows light. So if we will see the moon, it follows an orbit around the earth, but indirectly it follows the light of the sun. The portion of the moon we see is its position related to the earth and the sun. So in Quran, it is already mentioned about its position related to sun and the moon, and it already says that when the moon by the moon when moon follows light, because moon indirectly follows light of the sun.